Like, thanks, Snowboy. Appreciate it. Snowboy. What a fucking name. What a nickname.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Midnight Monster Corner podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Frosty, and alongside me, as always, is Corey Peak.
What's going on, brother?
And Tony Arroyo, a.k.a. Tito. What's up, man?
What's going on, fellas?
How you guys been?
I have been swell. I've been busy as hell at work. And at home, because we've been packing a lot. Been packing and moving and cleaning and just getting this house ready to sell, man. Like, we are excited. It's probably going to be a few weeks till we move, but we are really looking forward to it. And then once I get settled down, I'll be able to get my movie room set up, get some hardcore movie watching going on.
Yeah.
So I am pretty excited about that. Excited about having y'all over too, because there's plenty of room. I think the kids will really, really love it, running around, terrorizing our house.
I don't wish that upon no one.
No, I don't either.
Because the truest horror movie of them all is life.
It's life.
So, yeah, we are back. We are concluding our discussion. Well, I guess putting a pin in the discussion that is Sleepaway Camp, because we did find out that there is actually a part 4, not Return to Sleepaway Camp, correct? There is an actual part 4.
Yeah. There's an actual
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, so basically the Anchor Bay box sets that we have, Tony and myself, we always knew that there was just, I guess, what would you call it, Tony? Just pretty much just some footage, stock footage from part 4.
Yeah.
And then,
actually longer than I originally thought, because I think before I said it was like 20 minutes of like production still footage or whatever, but it's actually longer. So
it's about 70 minutes long or so. But again, none of it's edited, stuff like that. And like honestly, the quality and just the sound quality and everything was just garbage. So
really
I mean,
raw.
it was definitely raw and untouched. And upon me watching that, then I did a little research because I wanted to learn more about the I'm sorry, I'm having a brain fart for a minute. But basically I was doing some research to figure out the storyline on what happened, why did it just abruptly stop? And then apparently upon me researching it, apparently there was a 4th film made back in 2012 or something. And I honestly just didn't even know about that. And I was like, well, cool. Obviously I need to get that. So I went to look for it, and it's kind of on the pricier side, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah. It was like, I think the DVD on Amazon was like $45 or something. Ridiculous.
Makes sense. I mean, the fact that it released right under y'all's nose tells me that, it was one of those ninja releases, and usually when you have stuff like that, it's, very hard to come by, very expensive. They maybe didn't print a whole lot of them, It's kind of the same way with games, I guess. As a collector of retro games, there was a couple games like that out there. That doesn't mean that they're bad games. I mean, some of those games like that were just amazing. They just didn't print enough of them or something, But not saying that the movie's necessarily good or anything, but the fact that it was just such a hidden release and a follow-up sequel, 4th installment to such a beloved B-rated slasher film that I just think it's you know, I think it's interesting, you know, because we were fully convinced that the part 4 did not exist, and then you were like, "Hey, guess what?" A quick Google search completely, you know, debunked that. So,
well, and then on top of it, so supposedly it was made from that stock footage, and then on top of it, there was I guess stock footage from the first 3 films as well that they just used. So they basically just pieced this thing together and put it out.
right.
So
Yeah.
at least don't quote me on that, but that's what I read. I still can't believe that just made it completely past me and Tony though, because Tony, I think you were even kind of flabbergasted by me telling you that.
Yeah, because we were fully we were ready to watch I guess the pseudo filming that was part 4, you know, and then you find out that part 4 actually existed. So we were just kind of like, well, what do we do now? So, but we are the what now?
Which funny tidbit. The so the Anchor Bay box part 3, the cover art for part 3 is actually stock image from the 4th supposed film. So I thought that was kind of a funny little tidbit.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, we'll be talking about Sleepaway Camp 3, Teenage Wasteland, as it's called. It released August 4th, 1989 in the US with a runtime of 1 hour and 20 minutes. And it's funny reading this here. It's considered horror, but it's a comedy horror.
Yeah.
Which I could totally see it. It's just you know, there's a lot of horror movies that aren't necessarily dubbed horror that have a lot of funny scenes. You know, like I know I always go back to this, but the damn dog in Tenebrae. I laughed my ass off at that scene. It was not meant to be funny, but I thought it was funny. What's that say about me?
Oh, that happens in a lot of films. Like, is it what was that? What was that film, Tony, with the sun visor the whole time in that film? It was which
Deep
one?
Red. Deep Red.
Deep Red. Yes, the fucking sun visor just kept flopping down in the guy's face.
And then the chair just fell out, and he he went from sitting up to just completely like falling down. And oh my god, dude, that was so funny. That whole sequence is just it's so funny.
Like, kind of makes you wonder: was it supposed to be that way, or were they just having difficulties and they just decided to keep it? You know,
I don't know. My stomach was fucking hurting laughing so hard.
But once again, Michael A. Simpson filmed this one, the same guy that filmed the second one, or directed it rather, and proves to us once again that he knows nothing about horror movies. But
shot back to back with Sleepaway Camp 2 as well. This one came right after it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this one was an interesting one. I mean, the movie starts off immediately once again with Angela at the forefront. Like, there's no hiding it. You know, like she's here. She is the killer. We know she's the killer. She's just from the start of the movie on, she is just out to wreck shit. And so the movie starts off with this girl getting ready for summer camp, and you have your inevitable boob shot.
Milkshake.
And it says she's got a tattoo. It says milkshakes. What is that? Which I thought was funny.
Amazing. That's what that is.
Kind of makes you wonder, like, was that a real tattoo, or did they like write that on there? So then she goes walking down the street wearing an "I Love New York" shirt, obviously probably living in New York. And out of nowhere, this truck comes chasing her down the street. And
it's a garbage truck.
It's garbage truck, you know. So she's running down the streets of New York wearing an "I Love New York" shirt, getting chased by this dump truck. She gets slammed by the dump truck, and then whoever's driving takes her clothes and just takes off. And you find out later that it's Angela, obviously. Yeah. You know, the whole when the dump truck drives off, on the wall it's like, "Angela's back." Like, oh my
That's the
gosh.
most improbable kill ever. You're just in the middle of New York, just chasing this chick down, and everybody, people on the streets, but no one's doing the thing. They're just like, whatever.
That's New York, man. That's not the weirdest
That's
thing I've
New
ever
York
seen.
for you.
It's New York, yeah.
Oh man, this is so good. And man, she tags her with that truck too. It's so funny.
I gotta say that actually was really good looking though for for somebody getting hit by a fucking garbage truck. I mean, it was actually a pretty decent like the special effects was pretty cool actually.
Best practical effects in the movie?
I'd say so, yeah, man. With these two, with Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3, you could tell the effects weren't like top notch at all. There's some really like, I don't know, man. Not to take anything away from it, but they just, the effects weren't as prevalent. I mean, this came out in the later years of the slasher boom, so the effects heavy slasher films weren't really prevalent. Those were kind of going off, so they kind of took a backseat. It's much more of a farce comedy with horror sprinkled in there. This movie, but the effects weren't. Yeah, I would agree with that, Corey.
Mm-hmm.
But
what did you guys? Oh, go ahead.
No, yeah, you go ahead, man.
What's your thoughts on this film potentially being shot back to back with the sequel? Did you guys get a feel of that at all?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I did too. I feel like they maybe what was it, like a year in the movie? Like only a year had passed.
I believe so.
And everyone conveniently forgot what she looked like. Even the cop.
Yeah,
Like, what are you gonna do if you ever run into Angela? I'm a killer. Like she's been there the whole time, dude. Like, where you been?
Well, not to mention, you would think you would know what she looked like, seeing as how she killed your brother.
Mm-hmm.
Because the storyline was that he was out for essentially vengeance because she killed his brother.
Right.
So
that did not happen.
Great disguise, man. It's like Raphael in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. He just walks around with a trench coat and a hat, and nobody notices.
What the hell was that? Looks like some sort of big turtle in a trench coat. You're going to LaGuardia, right?
You're going to LaGuardia, right? Oh man,
it's New York, man. I'm telling you, they don't give a shit,
man. People just don't give a fuck. Nope. They just don't care.
But one thing that really got me hooked on this movie is all the one-liners in the towards the beginning, especially like when they first get to camp and they're like introducing everybody. And first of all, like this camp was like this whole social experiment. Like knowing the camp has like really dark history, with Angela killing everybody. They decided to buy this camp. I'm sure they got it for super cheap. And then they open up their own camp and they start this social experiment where it's like, hey, we're going to take, the middle to upper class people, and then we're going to take like the lower class people and we're going to lump them together and camp in the woods and see how they get along. And it just makes for some funny chemistry and some funny dichotomy between everyone towards the beginning. Like there's a scene where one of the girls is crushing on the Hispanic dude, She's like, God, that Tony guy is so cute. And one of the Richie preppy white girls like, oh, he's Mexican. It's like, what the hell? And then probably one of my favorite lines in the movie is when the news reporter, who's apparently a cokehead, she's like this really, preppy, pretty news reporter. She just gets through doing because apparently it's newsworthy to talk about a camp, but she just gets through filming a segment, and then she's talking to Angela. She's like, "You look a lot older than the rest." And Angela goes, "Massive drugs." And then she goes, "Speaking of drugs, you know where I can score some coke around here?" And she's like, "There's a vending machine inside."
That's great.
It plays into Angela's like her like naivety and like her just her goody side that she portrays because she's one
pseudo innocence
pseudo innocence absolutely.
So I laughed my ass off there.
Yeah, there's some great lines in this movie, man.
And then there's the scene where the two guys are fighting. And you had the guy that always played his radio everywhere, and he played it really loud. And like him and Tony got into a fight, and the dude that plays the cop just kind of walks up and like gently grabs their hands. Like there's no resistance at all.
Suck my dick, Spick. Oh man.
Yeah, they were going at it too, man.
What did you think about where he fucking pulls the gun on Angela? Did you see that part? He's like laying in the tent. She's like, "Cut the damn radio down" or whatever, and he pulls a gun. Ends up like killing him.
Was this the scene right before she kills him?
I believe so. Yeah, he like pulls a gun, and she's just like just walks out of there, and then I think just kills him.
She puts it. Well, I know he kept throwing the firecrackers down and scaring her.
Oh yeah.
So then she takes the firecracker, puts it in his nose, blows his face off.
That was one of the more cool kills, man. I like that one. Yeah. But you just get the after effect on it. No, you don't really see it happen. There's a lot of cutaway. There's a lot of cutaway to the kills, which is like unfortunate. Especially they could have. Man, I'm telling you that lawnmower kill would have been amazing to see.
Yeah,
that would have been incredible.
See that one?
Yeah. I at least expected to see some blood or something, but it was like she took the time to bury her alive, and then she got a lawnmower, and was And
I like how she around the building with the lawnmower, like she was just taking her sweet ass time.
I know. Didn't she leave the lawnmower on or something? Or pull the body out, or I don't know, because I know they found that lady later.
Well, she told the girl, she was like, "Where's the other?" Or she was telling her how lazy she was and shit like that. And so she was like, "She's right out there right now. She's just lounging around out there. Just go see her." And then she went out and saw her.
Gotta warn you, it's not a pretty sight.
God.
That's great. What did you think about the fishing? The where they were fishing? I really love that whole scene.
Yeah, I thought it was cool, man. The mask from part 2 popped up, and they caught it on the fishing line. And she's like, "Oh, what is that? Oh, it's I don't know, something a mask or something." And he's like, "Wait a minute, what's today? Oh, Saturday the 14th." Yeah, I like that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. It was like a double nod. Like it was a nod to the second movie and a nod to Friday the 13th, obviously. So that was pretty cool.
Back to what you guys were saying about how there was like a lot of cutaway and stuff. When we did the review on the sequel, there was a whole lot of cutaway from there too, which again kind of points me in the direction that this was, filmed pretty much either during or directly after.
Yeah.
But the MPAA was definitely had to have been heavily involved into, making it, cut for an R rating, and just taking a lot of those sequences. I mean, maybe he actually did shoot those sequences, and they just got cut from the film completely, which is really unfortunate, man. MPAA always does that, always neuters a film, so it's very unfortunate, man. I guarantee probably. I wouldn't say I guarantee, but there's a good chance that those scenes were shot and that they just cut them completely, and then they're probably gone now. And if they ever you know, if we ever lucky enough to have like a more extensive like box set put out or something like that, then maybe those extra scenes will be included or something, or they're probably just gone forever. But it would be really cool to see those if they did shoot them, to see them uncut.
Mm-hmm. Kind of goes back to like My Bloody Valentine.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, when you add those gore scenes and stuff like that, the uncut footage, it makes the movie so much more better, so much better.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. It elevates it. So
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, IMDb actually says since it was filmed back to back with Sleepaway Camp 2, Unhappy Campers, over a 6-week period, the same set was used for both films as apparently a YMCA youth group or youth camp in Georgia.
yeah, and I think that's why it feels so like they feel so similar, because a lot of the locations were the same, and that's why when we talk about does it really feel like they were shot back to back, it really does to me, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about Michael J. Pollard's character.
Please, let's please talk about his character.
Oh gosh, what was his name in the movie? He was the camp counselor. He was like the husband. So they were of course partners. Herman was his name, which that's his name in Scrooged. Herman. He looks like a Herman.
He does, actually.
So yeah, he was a bit of a creep. He was the creep of the movie, and it was kind of awkward.
Sweet pea.
Sweet pea. Because like immediately when they come into camp, he's already got his eyes set on this chick, right? And she's like digging it, like, "Hey, you're not a creepy old hermit dude."
Yeah, I used to have a badass Playboy belt buckle, man. I'm telling you.
Gotta give me one of those.
I'm serious.
He's like crotch in face. Look at my belt buckle.
Yeah,
she's all into it, man.
Which is weird. I mean, you would think like I don't know, this chick, because they already established that this chick came from a rich family, so she wouldn't be interested in this dude for money. So what the fuck is she interested in this dude for? I want to know. Like, there's no way that chick would be interested in that guy if he didn't have money or something. But she already came from money, so I didn't understand that at all.
She's just a slut bag, man.
I guess so, man.
There's that awkward, like, dry hump scene in the tent. Yeah. And he definitely gets a mouthful of boob.
He does. He does.
I was kind of like, whoa, wait a minute. You can't show that.
He was straight trying to get milk.
He really was.
And then Angela comes along and beats him with a stick.
Beats the hell out of him.
It really seems like she beat the hell out of a lot of people with a stick in this movie. Like, there was a lot of kills.
She did.
It seemed that way anyway. I mean, that's an easy kill. I mean, a lot of blood. It's real. It is what it is. But
I'd like to see the tree that stick came from.
No kidding.
It's like that thing was sturdy. Well, she beat him. She hit him like 20 times, chased him around the tent. Then, like, as he's on the ground, she, I guess, stabs him in the mouth with it.
That was awesome.
So, and then she kills the rest of the group that she's with, that piles them all in the tent and sets it on fire.
I like that angle.
Which is not her MO.
Yeah.
Because her MO is to store the bodies in one location.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In which she still does that, I think, throughout the film, doesn't she? Or close to?
Toward the end, I think, yeah.
Yeah. What'd you guys think of the closet BDSM guy? You guys know what I'm talking about? where he's tied up. He's like, I like to be tied up.
Oh, that guy, yeah.
Yeah. It took me a second.
That guy was funny.
Oh, nerd.
Yeah.
Fucking getting his rocks off while he was tied up to that Jeep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. overall, I had a blast with this movie.
It was a fun one. I will say it was it was funny. Like you weren't kidding. You told me this movie was just insane. Not what I expected at all, but it was funny.
To me, it's just a complete like 360 to the sequel, and to know that they were filmed, back to back or whatever is kind of hilarious because, to me, in my opinion, this is kind of a better one than the sequel. Again, that's just my opinion, but I think I have a lot more fun watching this one than I do the sequel. What's y'all's take on that?
Yeah, I feel like the second one was still trying to be a little serious.
Yeah.
And this one, they knew what they had. They were very self-aware that the second one was like totally a different atmosphere and different feeling from the first movie. So I think they just had fun with it. And, I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that it's labeled a horror comedy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like how they. I like. I could kind of tell that they maybe wanted to make more. You know what I mean? Like other than, I know we got a part 4 and we got a Return to Sleepaway Camp, which I hear is terrible.
Oh, it's garbage.
But I don't know. I had fun with it. I had fun with this one, and I'd like to see more movies like it. You know what I mean? Just but with better kills. Like the kills were kind of lackluster in this one. Like there was a couple of like decent ones, I guess, but like Sleepaway Camp's always been about really weird off the wall kills. If we go back to the first one, like this dude he doesn't technically get killed, but he gets boiling hot water poured on him, and then you got one guy that gets killed by bees. It's just so random off the wall. And the second one, I think, just went even further with like the drowning that girl in the shitty leech water.
Mm.
This one was just like she beat everyone with a stick, and it was so weird because in this one she was just killing people just to kill them.
Mm.
Like there was if you notice, like in the second one, like she had reasons, like she felt vindicated in killing them because she felt like she was more righteous and innocent, and they needed to be punished because they were, being sinful, quote unquote. But this one was more like, you're here, I gotta kill you.
And to that though, I mean, she was like taking out people for certain reasons. I mean, yeah, she took out the sheriff, and he was nothing but a good guy, But obviously, he was a threat, so she had to take him out.
Sure.
The camp counselors, he was a pervert. She was lazy as fuck. She made them go out and fish and get their own food while she cooked herself fucking steaks.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then just the random horniness of the teenagers. People were trying to sleep with one another, stuff like that. So she was taking them out. So, in my opinion, I see where you're coming from with that, but at the same time, I can kind of still see the classic Angela still going. But yeah, the cop though, he's almost like the hero of the day. You think he's gonna kind of just stop and end this, and then he fucking gets shot. That blew my mind.
He gets blasted. Yeah. She shot him like 12 times.
Yeah. And another point that Frosty kind of touched up on that I thought was pretty interesting. In Sleepaway Camp 1, you have a signature kill. In Sleepaway Camp 2, you have a signature kill. In this one, it's kind of hard. You don't really have that signature kill. As I say, in the second one, of course, the outhouse kill would be, that would be the one. And then Sleepaway Camp 1, you have, a couple of them you could probably pick out to be the signature, but that the curling iron kill would probably be the one for me because of how it left a lot to be, to the imagination. But this one, you don't really have that. You don't really have the signature kill. So I don't know. I thought that was a good point that he brought up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, right off the bat, she just starts beating the hell out of that dude with the stick.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, bam, bam, he's out. It's like she was chasing him around the tent, hitting him like she was trying to chase off a raccoon getting in her garbage. And then next thing you know, he falls, and then, he's dead. I don't know. It's just weird. Then you had the one where the chick's in the tent, and she tries to get out the tent, and she just gets her head locked off.
Yeah.
Which they actually didn't cut away for.
Yeah. Which I was surprised. I thought the kill with the racist chick, when she got tied up to the flagpole and she kind of pulled her up and then let her go. That would have been cool just to see her fucking head just explode. That would have been amazing. But unfortunately, you didn't see that. So that probably would have been one of the signature ones if they would have, either that or the like we said, the lawnmower kill. Either one of those would have. But unfortunately, they cut away from it, so it kind of dampers it a little bit. But
kind of ruins it, because sometimes in horror movies you need that, like, that cringe. You need that. Oh God, that that looks so real, or that looks looks like it hurts. And it makes you uneasy, and it just adds to that horror element. But if you have the cutaways, then it ruins it.
Yeah. And in this one, it hurt it a lot. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, MPAA probably had a lot to do with it, but still, it's like, man, it would have been great to see that if the footage is still around, see it uncut, or if it was even shot. I don't know. I would love to know the behind the scenes on whether those scenes were actually filmed with the gore, or they're just completely lost. I don't know. I would love to know.
Well, I was going to say the ending I thought was very interesting. She had the whole, you have to get to your friends before it's too late thing, It was very unlike Angela.
Yeah, well, she lets the redheaded chick go. It's just like, hey, I like you or whatever. You go ahead or both of the Tony guy too. Both of them. Yeah. She pretty much let them go, which came back to bite her in the ass at the end. But that the ending sequence with the redheaded chick and then him in the car, that was just fucking hilarious. I was dying. He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna come up to Ohio. We can get married." And this is that. He's like, I kind of have a boyfriend." That is fucked, man.
That's so great.
I did not see that coming.
You're all over this dude. You've been through this traumatic experience, and then you're gonna drop this bomb on him. I have a boyfriend. I forgot about that scene.
Yeah, that shit was funny. That was a great way to end it.
Well, then you had that scene in the ambulance where, like,
like,
she's not dead, but the guy's like, we should kill her. She's crazy. And then she, like, comes back to life, and
no one will know.
Yeah. Then she comes back to life and stabs him with a syringe.
Which makes me think, I mean, you leave a cold open like that ending, you expect you expect to jump right into a fourth one with that ending, but weird. I don't know.
I think one of the worst things is when you get into a franchise you really like, and like whether you're on the first one or the second one, and it ends to leave it open for sequel, and it never comes.
Never comes, man.
It's the worst. Shit, that happened with there was a game, I think Sega published it, but it was called oh gosh, Condemned. There was 2 of them, and they're really good. They're first-person horror games, and you played this like detective or ex-detective, and he's got like kind of a drinking problem. But anyway, you're like hunting down the serial killer, and the first one you're hunting down the serial killer, and then the second game you're kind of like feeling the effects of you know, because you basically went crazy, obsessing over this guy and like, you know, in the case and all this stuff. So you become this alcoholic, and so like there's parts of the game where you have like hallucinations and stuff. And this is the second one, of course. But it ends where like it opens up for a third one. I was like, hell yeah, and it just hasn't came. I'm still waiting. This is back in like 2007. I'm been waiting. So
yeah, I don't. I mean, that's one thing, man. You get totally hooked on it, and you're like, oh yeah, I can't wait for another one. And it just never comes. It's like, damn. And you just hold on hope, like maybe one day, maybe.
Yeah.
But then like years go by, and you're like, I don't know if it's happening.
With that being said, though, I think we need to try to find a way to watch the fourth Sleepaway Camp. I think we're doing ourselves an injustice by not. Then again, it could be absolutely terrible.
Yeah, I'd say as painful as it's probably going to be watching that, I agree with you, man. I think we would be doing ourselves an injustice if we don't see it. Because I had never seen it before. So, I mean, I've seen Sleepaway Camp 1, 2, and 3 plenty of times, but that one I've never watched. Right. And if I can get to Return to Sleepaway Camp, I think I can get through that.
Yeah. Sky's the limit, man.
Sky's the limit, man. Nothing's out of the realm of possibility. If you can get through that, you can get through just about anything.
That's right. So, but that is it for me. If y'all don't have anything else to add.
No, I think we hit all the beats on it.
Yeah, I think we're good.
And like I said, there's not much in the way of like, it's not a deep film. It's just like a, you know, run of the mill, you know, paint by numbers, you know, one kill to the next kill, you know, it's just one of those films. So, but it's got like we talked about, a lot of comedy, a lot more comedy than anything. It feels almost like a farce film. It's kind of like the second one, but the second one did seem a little bit more serious in tone. It had a lot of comedic parts too, but this one is heavy on the comedy. So a lot of good one-liners. I mean, like I said, it's a fun film, man. Both the sequels are.
Yeah, I enjoyed both of them. But ultimately, like I said, this one here takes the cake out of the two for me.
Yeah, same here. Because, like I said before, yeah, this is the point where they became very self-aware, and was just like, let's have fun with it. And so they did. And, you know, I think it paid off. You know, it's absolutely crazy one-liners and B-rated cheese. You know, it's got it, and it's definitely worth a watch. But with all that being said, we're going to go ahead and land this plane. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Midnight Monster Corner podcast. We appreciate y'all listening again. Just a reminder, if you're listening, you're most likely listening on YouTube. Go ahead and click that like button. Go ahead and click the share button and follow us, or subscribe rather. And we would greatly appreciate that. If you and your friends or families into horror movies or just into cinema in general, shoot us their way. You know, let them know we're out there. We're trying to get our names out there, and you know, it's always fun to get together and talk about movies and talk about things you love, and we want to share that with you guys. I know we've had a couple of people already check us out on various podcast groups, so definitely don't miss out. We'll be putting out a lot more content in the future. I know once I get settled in my new house, I'll probably be trying to do more videos and stuff. So be on the lookout for that. And if you want to follow us, we do have a Facebook group. Go to facebook.com and type in the Midnight Monster Corner podcast. It is a closed group, but ask nicely, we'll let you in. And if you want to check out my other podcast, I do have another podcast called the Loot Bros Podcast. We talk about video games. We do have a Facebook group. We have an Instagram, all that jazz. So be sure you follow us there. Anything to add, gentlemen?
No, just like I said, if you or like Frosty said, if you've seen this film leave a comment down below. Well, if you've seen all three of them, leave a comment down below and tell us which ones are your favorite ones. And head over to the Facebook group and just generate a discussion. Let's get a discussion going. What's your favorite one, or have you seen the fourth film? Can you tell us about it? Let us know, guys. With that, back to you, Frosty.
Tony, anything to add?
I got nothing, man. That was perfect.
Awesome. Well, we'll see y'all later.
Later, guys.
You know.